Welcome back guys to my channel, and today we will be talking about what is an air prox and how is loss of separation related to an air prox. What happened between United Airlines Boeing 777 and Virgin Australia ATR 72. So let's get started guys. Let's first discuss what is an air prox. An air prox is a situation where the distance between two aircrafts as well as their relative positions and speed according to the pilots or the air traffic controllers have been such that aircrafts involved might be at the risk of collision. According to International Civil Aviation Organization, an air prox is classified into four types: Type Alpha, Type Bravo, Type Charlie, and Type Delta. Type Alpha, risk of collision. It refers to an aircraft proximity in which serious risk of collision has existed. It may or may not be considered as a serious incident. Type Bravo, safety not assured. This type refers to an aircraft proximity in which the safety of the aircraft may have been compromised. Type Charlie, no risk of collision. This type refers to an aircraft proximity in which no risk of collision has existed. Type Delta, risk not determined. It refers to an aircraft proximity in which insufficient information was available to determine the risk involved. So, why does air prox occur? An air prox may occur as a result of a level burst or airspace infringement. Level burst refers to vertical deviation of more than 300 feet from the altitude assigned by the air traffic controller. Airspace infringement refers to entering unnotified airspace without proper clearance. Safety nets such as airborne collision avoidance system and short-term conflict alert mitigate the resultant risk of collision. Now let's take a look at what are the other names for air prox. An air prox is commonly referred to as near mid-air collision in the United States of America. However, they are not precisely the same. Near mid-air collision is always an air prox, whereas an air prox is not necessarily an near mid-air collision. An air prox should be reported as soon as possible to facilitate investigation of the incident. Typically, national authorities establish a special committee to investigate air prox reports, which allocates the actual risk classification and to recommend further action. To reduce air prox incidents, United Kingdom Air Prox Board recommends following 6 core actions. They are: eyes, look out and be aware of your surroundings. Ears, communicate by talking on and listening to the radio. Foresight, fly defensively with vigilance, courtesy, and consideration of others, which is also known as airmanship. Insight, regularly review your understanding of air traffic control services, rules of the air, circuit patterns, and procedures. Advertise, make your presence known through conspicuous measures. Prioritize, share cockpit tasks and avoid distractions which may compromise your vigilance. These are the 6 measures which would help prevent air prox incidents. Now let's see one example from real life incident. What happened between United Airlines Boeing 777 and Virgin Australia ATR 72 on 22nd January 2020, this year itself. United Airlines Boeing 777 was being operated as Flight Uniform Alpha 870 from Sydney, Australia to San Francisco, United States of America. At about the same time, a Virgin Australia Avion de Transporte Regionale ATR 72 was being operated as a commercial flight Victor Oscar Zulu 1153 from Sydney to Tamworth, New South Wales. Sydney Airport is configured for parallel runway operations, including simultaneous independent departures. Virgin Australia 1153 departed from runway 34 right to an assigned heading of 350 degrees just prior to United Airlines Flight 870 departing from runway 34 left. United Airlines 870 was required to maintain runway heading 335 degree until reaching 1500 feet, at which the aircraft was cleared to turn left and track towards Richmond, which is northwest of Sydney. However, United Airlines Flight 870 climbed straight ahead through to about 2100 feet, and then the aircraft turned to the right about 45 degrees from the required heading, which resulted in a loss of separation with Virgin Australia Flight 1153. At their closest point of approach, the two aircraft were separated by 1843 meters, which is about 1 nautical mile laterally, and 60 meters, which is about 200 feet vertically. Air traffic control detected the loss of separation and issued interventional instructions to both aircraft. The required separation was re-established and both flights continued without further incident. Now, many of you would be thinking, why did this happen? The Australian Transport Safety Bureau investigation found the United Airlines captain configured the flight management computer for a standard instrument departure based on expectations from prior experience. It was configured before receiving their pre-departure clearance. When Sydney Air Traffic Controller did provide pre-departure clearance, the information differed from the pilot's previous experience. The message to the United's pilots from Air Traffic Control was United 870 delivery cleared to San Francisco via Dipso, flight plan route, runway 34 left, Richmond 5 departure, radar transition, climb via SID to 5000. The first officer read back the clearance information, omitting the radar transition component. The United Airlines crew then checked the Richmond 5 standard instrument departure chart. It stated, parallel runway operations, do not turn right, track 335 degree, at 1500 feet, turn left, track direct Richmond, non-directional beacon. Then follow transition instruction. The United captain then reprogrammed the flight management computer, replacing the Sydney 1 procedure with the Richmond 5. The pilot was unsure about the specific coding for two transit options, radar or Richmond, provided by the flight management computer. The captain cancelled the pre-programmed radar transition procedure. The captain said that he reported this to the first officer, but there was no acknowledgement. As the United Airlines flight was climbing through 2120 feet, Sydney Air Traffic Controller saw the plane was turning right and issued instructions to turn left. At this point, the Virgin Australia aircraft was sighted visually and also via the traffic alert and collision avoidance system. Now, let's conclude this case study. The pilot flying incorrectly amended the flight management computer for the clear departure. The amended flight management computer setup was probably not effectively communicated to the crew or effectively cross-checked by the pilot monitoring or relief pilots. The pilot monitoring did not complete a full readback of the radar transition component of the pre-departure clearance, nor did the Sydney Clearance Delivery Controller insist on a full readback. At last, the Sydney Departure Controller observed United Airlines Flight 870 turning right and towards Virgin Australia Flight 1153 and quickly issued unambiguous and immediate instructions to both aircraft to rectify the situation and re-establish the required separation. That was a narrow escape. If you guys want to read the full investigation report, please check out the link given below in the description box. That's all for today. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up, and also if you are new to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. If you find the content to be good, please share it with your friends and other aviation enthusiasts. I would also like to hear your comments, so please comment below. Also, if you are interested in aviation news, check out my Instagram page. The link is in the description box below.